Hey, yo, what up? It's your boy. Lawsuits! Lawsuits everywhere! Japan, as you may know, is a pretty strict country when it comes to copyright. I mean, we hear about all sorts of different news of the copyright system and free use and fair use just being absolutely broken or non-existent in Japan, but it turns out it's even gotten to some really petty levels. So much so that big gaming companies are now suing other big gaming companies for ungodly amounts of money and for really, I guess, questionable reasons, like in today's news, where Konami, the massive gaming company that has been around for God knows how many decades now, is suing Cygames over the Uma Musume Pretty Derby game. So you guys probably all know who Konami is, but may not know who Cygames is. Cygames is another game development company, more specifically involved in a lot of mobile games, gacha games. One of the games that they have created is Uma Musume Pretty Derby, which worldwide is pretty massive game, but especially in Japan, it is making big dollars. I mean, horse racing culture in general in Japan is absolutely massive, and you combine that with turning the horses into cute anime girls, that is just a money-making machine in Japan. It turns out that Konami is not cool with this. Konami is not cool with the way that Cygames has created this game and are now suing Cygames over, I guess, some kind of copyright dispute. Game developer Cygames and its parent company CyberAgent announced on Wednesday that game and entertainment company Konami filed a lawsuit in the Tokyo District Court against Cygames on March 31st. According to the legal complaint, which was delivered to the Cygames on May 10th, Konami alleges that Cygames' Uma Musume Pretty Derby game has infringed on Konami patents. Konami is requesting the court for an injunction to halt the digital production, usage, and provision of Uma Musume Pretty Derby, and is also seeking 4 billion yen, about $29 million, in damages, including relevant delay charges. God damn, they're just fucking slapping the cease and desist all over Cygames right now. So you're probably wondering, and I was wondering when I first saw this headline, well, what exactly did Cygames infringe on? What did Cygames break the rules of that got the higher-ups in Konami to be like, we're gonna sue these motherfuckers? Well, CyberAgent's announcement noted that Cygames had been in discussions with Konami regarding patent rights for the game system and program of Uma Musume Pretty Derby, but that Konami did not accept Cygames' opinion, thus leading to the lawsuit. CyberAgent's announcement did not specify which patents Konami is claiming Uma Musume Pretty Derby has violated, and there have been some pretty big and wide speculations, especially on Japanese Twitter, as to what exactly was the trigger for this lawsuit to go ahead. Nothing is set in stone. This is all just speculation as of right now, as currently as of me making this video. We don't know the, I guess, nitty-gritty details of this lawsuit, but there have been some interesting hypotheses that have been thrown around. And I guess right now, the most valid reason or trigger for this lawsuit has to do with Konami's game Power Pro. Power Pro, for those of you who don't know, is a baseball game that Konami has been making for God knows how many years now. Like, I remember playing one of the earlier versions of Power Pro when I was a kid with my cousin. Basically, it's this really massive baseball game where the aim of the game is to, I guess, create and, I guess, breed, even though that's the worst way to put it, breed new and upcoming baseball players for you to join your team to eventually, you know, win. And Power Pro for the longest time has been using this family skill tree system where basically the two parents that have particular skills in the baseball game, when they breed, they create a child who carries on those traits or, you know, amplifies those traits that they gain from their parents. And Uma Musume Pretty Derby just also happens to use a very similar system where you take two horses, you breed them together, and they fulfill the traits of their parents' skills. And supposedly this system, or I guess a similar system, was so similar that Konami was like, we kind of own that game system. Like that is a Konami thing, and you guys did not really get the permission to use said game system, so we're gonna charge you $29 million for that. Which, if you ask me, is pretty, again, petty for Konami to do. I mean, maybe they saw that Cygames has just been swimming in their money through this game. I mean, even this ANN article points it out that says the game released on PC via DMM Games on March 2021. According to mobile app data analysis organization Sensor Tower, the game has earned more than $2 billion US as of March early this year, with 95% of those earnings coming from Japan, which is like, of course it is. Like, honestly, like, if you come to Japan and you talk to anybody who plays, you know, gacha games or anything like that, or just mobile games in general, or you're just on the train or whatever, and you just happen to peer over to see what are Japanese people doing on their phones. 95% of the time, they're fucking playing Uma Musume. I mean, look, it's a great freaking game. I've dabbled in it a little bit. I haven't personally put any money into it. I had to kind of stop myself from doing it, but even the free-to-play experience was actually really good. I mean, this sounds like a fucking ad for Uma Musume, but honestly, the game is actually fun. And again, this whole concept of race horse betting and pretty anime girls, and you combine those two together, it is an absolute money-making machine in Japan. And the fact that they've made $2 billion US on that game, which is fucking crazy to me, just goes to show that, hey, Konami was probably getting a little bit salty of Cygames, that they're making so much money off of their system, because guaranteed, even though Power Pro is a very profitable franchise for Konami, I guarantee that it's not racking in $2 billion US for Konami. And look, it might seem like a lot. $29 million in damages may seem like a lot, but if you put it in comparison to the fact that, again, they have made $2 billion off of this game, it really is a drop of water in the pond for Cygames. So, you know, maybe to just not further complicate the situation, Cygames may just be like, all right, Konami, you petty motherfuckers, here's the 29 million. You just take it and leave us alone while we sit back and make even more money off of the attention that you have brought on to this game. Because no matter how you look at it, no matter how much of a Konami fan you might be, no matter how much of a Cygames hater you may be, Konami does kind of look bad in this situation. Again, we don't know the full details. There might be more instances of copyright infringement that Cygames has, unfortunately, or on purpose or accidentally committed through the Uma Musume game that Konami is not happy about. But regardless, even if it is just like a game system and program thing that this article is saying, it does still seem pretty freaking petty on Konami's part. Like, you know, the whole family skill tree game system or whatever, it's not exactly the most like innovative or groundbreaking game system that has been created. I mean, look at games like Monster Rancher. Monster Rancher has this exact same game system that has been implemented, and there are probably a ton of other games I'm forgetting about that have very, very similar systems. So again, it just kind of seems like Konami just got a little bit salty that Cygames was making $2 billion big bucks off of this game and was like, how can we make some of that profit? Because God knows, Konami has not been making any decent money as of recently compared to their peak, you know, a couple of decades ago. And look, this is coming from someone who loves Konami games. I grew up on Konami games, but just seeing this kind of stuff really does deter me from supporting Konami from here on out. I'm not saying, you know, we should boycott Konami or anything stupid like that, because God knows that's a recent trend that has been happening. But just looking at this, I'm like, Konami, what the fuck are you doing? You could be making $2 billion in revenue too if you were just making some good games. Again, this is all pure speculation on my part and the community's part. We're all trying to figure out, and until I guess we see the nitty-gritty details of the lawsuit, what exactly Konami is suing Cygames for. But again, just from the surface level and just from the information that we do have, it seems like Konami is kind of shooting themselves in the foot and, you know, asking for 29 million US, which again, compared to all the money that Cygames has been making, not just off of Uma Musume, but all of their other very, very profitable franchises in the mobile game industry, it just seems like a waste of everybody's time. And again, if I was someone at Cygames and I had the choice of whether I wanted to go through with this transaction or not, I would probably just go through with it and leave it be. Except the problem is that not only are they asking for big bucks, but they're also asking for essentially Cygames to be like, yo, shut that shit down. Which I don't think Cygames is going to lie down and take, because they do see the massive potential and still the currently growing massive potential of the Uma Musume Pretty Derby franchise. So yeah, I think think what is legitimately going to happen is that Cygames is probably going to respond to this lawsuit by taking them to court, making sure that they get out scot-free. You know, they might pay a little bit of a fine, $29 million. Hey, to them, again, it's just a drop in the bucket, but I think Cygames is going to do everything that they can to make sure that Konami doesn't shut their big money-making machine down, because otherwise they're kind of screwed as well. Honestly, no one is winning in this situation, really. I guess the only winning situation in this case is if Konami backs down from the lawsuit due to maybe the social media presence and the public backlash that this might create, which, at least on Japanese Twitter right now, it definitely is looking like that. A lot of Japanese Twitter is kind of saying, Konami, you kind of goofed up here. You're kind of goofing up. Like, what are you doing, bro? Shut the fuck up for a second. We'll see what happens. This is a developing story, but either way, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. And hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smack my face right here to subscribe to the channel. Let's keep making big channel number go bigger. And over here next to my head is a couple more videos you can check out if you enjoyed this one, and the links to all my social media, as well as my Patreon to support me directly, and my YouTube Shorts and TikTok page, all down in the description below. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace.